Unqork tutorials. So yeah, actually I was planning to record these things which we are going to cover today in the previous video itself, but that the length of the video was going uh, quite high, so thought of like splitting into two pieces or two videos. Yeah, so let's continue with what we had started in the previous video, which was about display and layout. So let's talk about the panel one, the columns, and maybe we'll cover rich text editor in this video. Okay, so let's start with the column. So yeah, what is column in this Unqork? What is this column component in Unqork is? It provides us a layout, a column view with this component. So this is the formatting as one box. So if we just save and close this, so you can see there are no partitions. There is only one big column, and inside that we can put whatever the components we want. That is one thing. The other thing is like the two columns and three, four, and likewise they have mentioned this different columns structure which we can use in Unqork. And yeah, let's take this three columns. So if you see, it goes to three columns. Okay, so in this, like here also it is given like drag and drop a model component. So here we can just drag and drop any components whichever we want. So if I want to use a text field inside this, maybe text area in the second column, and maybe checkbox in the third column. So yeah, if we just preview this, it will like show us that structure where the screen is having the layout. And if we want to have a customized column width, then we can use this table. We can just enable this. We can just click on this, and here we can select different parameters and make sure that whenever you give your custom width here in this, so make sure that whatever the total it will make, okay, total of all these columns should be equal to 12. So if I am putting here 2, then other two should be, so 2 plus 4 is 6. So here I can give 6. So if we combine this all, it should be 12. Then it will look properly on the screen as we want. So if we save and close, so this is how the 2, 4 and 6, whatever the configuration we had done for the column looks like on the column. Yeah, so column is something pretty simple. Like we just use it to create a layout of inside a screen and put the components over here. Okay, so let's move to the next one from the display and layout, which is panel. Yeah, so panel is very the panel component is such like it is very versatile component. Here inside this we can, there are having multiple usage of it. So the panel is something, a normal panel if you select, it will look like a normal panel. Let me just quickly show you this. I have just given this panel text, interaction type is panel, and if I just save and close, how it looks. So this is the panel, okay, how it looks. And inside that also we can put the components whichever we want. So let's put that above components which we had used for columns inside this. Let me just delete this column, we are not using that. Yeah, so if I save and close, it will look like a normal screen because we haven't selected the other. Yeah, so here the one thing is we are able to group this into a certain panel, and here we can give it the label. So if you see here, I have just given a label here. Maybe I can write something like label test. So this is something like acts as a label for this group. Okay, so this is a simple panel, we can say, just using a panel and putting the component inside it, and it will just provide us a label inside that. Okay, so just like this, if we use a second column, then here I can put 2, then it is something partitioned into a different panel, and here we can see uh, the components like label test 2, and those are partially partitioned inside this. So this is a simple panel. And yeah, apart from that there are many things. So if we go into the label test, keep it list, okay, which is already there, panel interaction time. So if I click on it as accordion toggle on, okay, I'm just toggling on this accordion. So what it says is display panel as accordion. So what is accordion? Let me show you that. Let me just quickly save and refresh. Yeah, so if we see the accordion, what feature it gives is like it will give us this expand and uh, closed view of panel. Okay, which was not there in the previous, but now sorry for my bad throat. Yeah, okay, so it gives this view. Okay, if we select that, and again it is giving us, and the second option is collapse content. So what is this? Like if I toggle on this, it will be by default collapse. So I have saved that or turned on that collapse. So it should, I think it should turn on this. Yeah, ideally it should collapse that by default. So what happens is if I turn on this, then the panel would be having the feature of having this minimized and maximized view. But if I turn on this collapse content, then by default it should be collapsed, which means like, let me just play around with that. Oh, okay. Sorry, I just missed two things here. So if I toggled off this, which means then by default the view would be maximized view. But if I toggle on this thing, then it would be closed. It would be by default closed, and manually we need to open it or maximize it. Yeah, so this is what it is. Okay, and let's go to the next one, which is enable scroll spy. So this is also very cool feature. We'll just see in a bit of minute on that, like what is that? Because for this to use, we need to use some one line of code, not code, but just one line of div tag in the content component to use it. So we'll just see. And apart from that, we have this disable panel and hide panel options, which we usually have in other components as well. Okay, and apart from that, we have this import existing module and enable dynamic refresh. So for enabling, this is a new feature of Unqork, which is pretty handy. So I have uploaded one video which is regarding the uh, dynamic refresh. So you can just go to that video. I have just maybe on the top of the screen you can see that video link. If you want to go through that, you can just go to a separate video which is about dynamic refresh, where the panel is used. And okay, so now let's see this import existing module concept. Okay, so this is also very cool feature. Let me just close this, get a new panel. So what it does is, let me put it as panel test, save and close. And what I will do is like I will create one more module. Okay, so one module where we were doing all the activities was that sandbox module, and I'm creating one more module maybe as a child module. Okay, front end create. Okay, so now as we have created that child module here, okay, what we will do is we'll go here and we'll use that import existing module. Okay, so import existing module, and here it asks us like what module to import. So we can just search here our module, which was child module. Yeah, child module. And yeah, we are just referencing. So here we have an import type which says import type referencing will keep this manner linked to the source module. So which means like we are like importing the reference of that previous module, okay, which is a child module which we have created. And if we are selecting as a copy here, then a new module itself would be created on a fly, Okay, so if I do this, then this module is something will be created real time. The copy of that would be imported, but not the reference one. So better to keep it reference. And here what is like update type. So automatic updates detects any changes made in the source module, then automatically updates the module in the imported module. Yeah, so if we better to keep it automatic, because when we are making it to manual, then it doesn't automatically updates that screen. But if we do that, then automatically the screen updates whatever the changes we made into the child module. So if we just save and close and preview, yeah, so I think we will not see anything. Okay, we'll just see the label. And now what is happening, this panel is something we have used to import a different module, okay, which is a child module here. But why we are just able to see this panel test label? Because in this child module we haven't put any components there. It is just a blank module. If you see, it is a blank module, right? So if we just drag and drop some text field, maybe I can write here as keep it text field only. Even I will write text field from child module. Okay, so if I write this, then if I just refresh the screen, so what you will observe is that text field component which we have added into this child module is visible here. So yeah, so this is what happens. So basically when you will use this import thing is where whenever you want to reuse a piece of code. So now here we have created this text field. Maybe we want to create a header. Okay, so in this child module we have created a layout for a header which is visible on the top of the web application. So for every module, okay, so this is a main module, maybe a sandbox module. So in this I don't need to create a separate layout or a logic for that header, right? So if I'm having this header layout in one module, the same module I can import in n number of modules wherever I want to show that header. So it is something like we are like creating once and using it in different places. So that is one thing where this import module comes handy. Okay, and again, like here we have this allow validation, which is like allows for the panel to target and validate individually. So this is something if you want to validate the content inside the panel. Okay, so that is also this is used. And apart from that, we are having this navigation component. So I think, yeah, I will explain this later, because for this we will require some other uh, components. Okay, so some knowledge of other components, then combiningly we can use this feature. So we will take this later, but yeah, this is something the basic of panel component, how we use and how we can use the different things of it. And yeah, one thing I was talking about was this enable scroll spy. Okay, so if I toggle on this, it will like ask us vertical offset, keep it 0 for now. Let's save and close. And one more thing, what we need to do in this case is, if you want to use this is we need to use the content component. Yeah, so here we need to put one uh, element, okay, div element, which will help us to do that. So let me just get that exact element, the div element command or whatever that one line I was talking about. So here where I'm gone is like I've just gone to the documentation, and here if you see, scroll a little bit down, yeah, here if you see, uh, it has given this command. Okay, command, not command, but the element text. Okay, so this we will use it here. Okay, and how it helps, let me just quickly build that and let me show you how we can use that feature. So I can just write I can enter many text field just for showing you that use case. So let's assume these are number of text field we are having into this module. So how it will look on the screen is, let me refresh this. Yeah, so if you see, we have lot many number of fields, right? So in applications, we usually scroll down to the bottom of the page, and if we want to go to the top of any element, maybe I want to go to the top of the screen and I want to go at this place where the first text field is present. So one way is like just scroll up using mouse, but better to have a feature where we have one label here which says go to top. So if I just click on this go to top label, it will automatically go take us to the first component which we have mentioned in that element. So that is what these things are used for. So what we need to do is like after putting this here, we need to enter the property ID of that component where we want to go when we click on back to top. Okay, so let's suppose I want to go to this component, right? Text field from child module. Okay, so this is the property ID. So if you see like all labels are same, that is why you might get confused here, but don't confuse, they are like different text field, and I have just copy pasted that. So by default different property ID is there. So for first one it is text field, for second one is text field 2. So I want to go to the top of the page where this text field is present. Okay, this property ID or this component is present. So I need to just put that property ID here and save and refresh. So now if you can see this back to top button. So I have just scrolled down to the bottom of the page. If I click on this, see our scroll bar is top, I mean it is up, and we have reached here. Again I will show you, we are on the bottom of the page. If I click on this, it will take us to the component where that first component is present, right? So this is what it is used for, this scroll spy. Okay. Okay, I think hope you are clear with this. If any questions, you can just add comments on the video. Maybe I will try to answer those if any confusion or any queries. Okay, so let's go to the next one, next concept. We'll just put take that next concept here and we'll just wrap up this video. So the third one which I want to cover is rich text editor. Okay, so what is this rich text editor is? Let me just add this and save. Okay, so if I just refresh this, now you will see a text editor, or we can say rich text editor. So here you can add the things, whatever the command, I mean text you want, and you can just use these tools to format this text, just like in Word where we have that, right? Make it bold, italic, underlined. So these things is like I mean these things are covered into the rich text editor thing. So this is usually used in the uh, use cases where, let's suppose you are on the screen and you want to draft an email. You are on the web application screen and you are like drafting an email and then sending it to the in user. Okay, so email use case. So there, if you want a email writing screen to be like such fancy or high layout, then you can use this rich text editor. Okay, and apart from that, there are few like straightforward features which we can use here. So maybe it is like allow change tracking. So if I just toggle on this button, allow change tracking, then what it will do is like let me show you what it will do. Okay, so if I put it here, we are able to see these things, right? uh, like it is asking us whether you want to add this or delete this. If I delete, then this will go. If I want to add this, that's it, it will be added. So one more like kind of a filter or a wrapper it will add. So this is what it will do with this. And apart from that, there is one more thing in this, which is feature to add the comment. So for that you need to toggle on this button which is allow commenting. So if I save this, so here you can see one comment uh, option here. Okay, if I just add this, you can just add the comment as well to this text. So this is what the features are provided inside this rich text editor. So yeah, I think we have covered pretty much on this. So if you have any questions, just put a comment below this video and I will try to get back. I will just try to answer those questions. Cool. Okay, so I think we can close this and we will see the next topic in the next video. Thank you guys.